Aloha. It's your favorite friend with questionable character, Aloha Mr. Hand, coming to you on this Thursday, December 10th, 2020, courtesy of our friends at From the 108, and of course, powered by Jack Daniels. I'll be having some later. So, a couple things I wanted to talk about today. Some interesting events going on during the week. I already gave you my opinion of the Lance Lynn and Adam Eaton signings, especially the Adam Eaton signing, in previous posts, so I'm not going to go down that path. If you want to know how I feel about those, go look back and see them, and they're there, and feel free to watch, comment, enjoy, hate, whatever. So, one of the first things I wanted to talk about, there's a couple things I wanted to talk about, and they're somewhat related. But the first thing is, Dallas Keuchel did an interview on the White Sox Talk podcast the other day. Actually, I would say he did it Tuesday, and it was posted Wednesday. In this interview, he said something that I found fascinating, to say the least. He talked about how the clubhouse was still very chaotic and unstructured, and players were coming in whenever they wanted to come in and everything else. There wasn't no cohesive leadership in the clubhouse at the beginning. So he said he took it upon himself to start showing people, hey, if you want to be a winning franchise, these are the kind of things you need to do. These are the things you need to commit to. Understanding that and hearing that triggered something in me, and it made me realize just a little bit more why the Tony La Russa move makes sense. Now, I'm not going to get into the arguments about whether he or not he should manage, and whether or not Jerry should have say over his team who gets to manage it, or anything like that. And I'm not going down the path of his legal issues and everything else. That'll be resolved in a couple weeks. But if you really think about it, the La Russa move makes a little bit more sense today after hearing that Dallas Keuchel interview, because they want somebody to instill a sense of winning and the commitment it takes to winning in this organization. I don't think Ricky Renteria was the guy, because that's the first time he ever had a winning team. And we saw what happened in the playoffs. We saw what happened during the season. I think they should have won a few more games, but his weird lineup constructions and bullpen mismanagement at times prevented that. So the La Russa move makes a little more sense, in my opinion, now after hearing that Dallas Keuchel interview. Now, it also plays into something else, and I did discuss my feelings towards the Adam Eaton signing the other day, and like I said, it's out there for everyone to hear. Feel free to listen to it and form your own opinions. And I would hope that everybody forms their own opinion on the Adam Eaton signing. You are more than entitled to like it. More power to you for it. I am very, very, very much against it. The reason I am very, very, very much against it is because of what happened in the past. And yes, you could say the past is the past and all that other stuff. And part of the reason to bring Tony in is to clean up crap like that. But I frankly don't believe Eaton should be here. And it's not only because of diminishing skills. I think it was regardless of his past history with the White Sox, and if you slapped Joe Smith on his name, on his statistics for the last few years, you would argue one thing and one thing clearly. $7-8 million, whatever it was he got, is a wild overpay. Wild overpay for him. Should have probably got about 4, to be honest with you. And the second year option, should have got a 1 year, that's it, we're done. But that is only part of the iceberg. Now, people may want to understand why I don't want Eaton here. And I'll tell you why. First off, he was one of the ringleaders of the infamous Drake LaRoche fiasco in spring training 2016. Remember, he was quoted as saying Drake LaRoche is a leader. Now, think about that statement in conjunction with what Keuchel said about leadership in that clubhouse. Think about that. Sounds like there's a consistent theme there. You're calling a kid who, I don't even know if he was a teenager at that point, a leader of your clubhouse? What are you running in there? The Wild West? And yes, it might be hyperbole by him just to make the kid feel good, out of respect for his dad, whatever it may be. But good grief, man, quit sticking your foot in your mouth. Second, him and Todd Frazier was a free-for-all during the season. And I totally agree. Frazier needs to get blamed too. And because it takes two to tango in a situation like this. It wasn't Adam Eaton by himself doing this. The two of them participated in it. So they both deserve equal amounts of blame. But again, bad scenarios, what do you see as a constant there? Adam Eaton. And then we get to that infamous Saturday night when Chris Sale Scissorhands took to the locker room, cutting up all the jerseys. Who's the one player who we know was there because of what he said he did? We know Adam Eaton was in there and didn't try and stop him. How do we know this? Because Eaton brags he saved his jersey instead of trying to stop it. Sorry, I don't want this guy anywhere near this team. He did so much damage in 2016, along with others. It wasn't just him. I am not saying that. But you could see every scenario, every one of the scenarios I laid out, he was a key contributing factor. And those were probably, and I forgot one other scenario. Ask the Seattle Clubhouse guys if they ever got their tip money from the White Sox, because Adam Eaton was the one in charge of holding that, and he's the one who said, I don't like this new regulation that the Mariners put in place, so we're going to hold the money until they get it straightened out. That's right. The Mariners organization put something in place. Adam Eaton and company didn't like it, so instead of giving the money to the clubhouse guys, and what they generally do is pool up money at the beginning of a series, put it in an envelope, give it to the clubhouse guy. Here you go. Here's for taking care of us. I have heard stories about someone like Cal Ripken would travel with $100 bills, and he would peel off a $100 bill for every time they went out into a new clubhouse. Boom, there's Cal's 100 to go in with everyone else's. Granted, understand, when Cal was doing that, we're talking 25, 30 years ago, so prices have gone up a little bit since then, I'm sure. But ask him where that money went. Seattle guy ever get his tip money? Hey, Adam, Seattle guy ever get his tip money? I'd like to know that. The Seattle Clubhouse guy. You withheld it? It got to the point where Ken Rosenthal had to write a story about it. Yeah, exactly. Again, who's one of the ringleaders of that? Adam Eaton. I don't want him in this clubhouse at all. And if you don't believe me about the tip thing, look it up. Like I said, Ken Rosenthal wrote about it. I don't want that in this clubhouse. That's one of my biggest issues with this organization, besides shopping at the Kmart Blue Light Special. This organization is so backward looking instead of forward thinking. Let's go, look, it's Adam Eaton. Here's a guy the fans know. We'll bring him in because he's quote unquote cheaper. Even though, I'm sorry, like I said, $7 million's an overpay. He should be about $4 million. If you really think about it, attach Joe Smith to his stats, and you're going to say that's about $3 or $4 million to pay for that player. But further on Adam Eaton, and it sounds like I'm picking on him, and in a way I am, but he highlights so many different things, so many issues with the White Sox, in my opinion. Someone also commented that the decision to bring Adam Eaton back was Kenny's, not Rick's. I don't know if this is true or not, but if it is true, I would expect the same fury from White Sox Twitter about this as the fury seen when Tony La Russa was named manager and Rick was overridden by the guy who signs the paychecks for the organization and who is the head of the organization, who is the de facto owner of the organization. Sorry, people, accept it. Jerry Reinsdorf gets the final say. Like it, don't like it, too bad. He gets the final say. I would expect the same fury. I haven't seen a peep of people complaining about Kenny Williams overriding Rick Hahn to bring Adam Eaton in, if it's true. I haven't seen a peep about it. Where's it at? You can't be hypocrites about it. If one guy overrides overrides Rick, the other one overrides Rick. You got to treat both equally. Don't be hypocrites. I want to see the fury if that's true. If that's true, I want to see fury. I want to see the same fury, the same energy, and the same constant tweeting. I mean, there's still some people out there who tweet Fire LaRussa. Heck, they changed their Twitter handles to Fire, some variation of Fire LaRussa. I mean, it's done. He's the manager. Deal with it. Frankly, you may not like the hire. I get it. That's your choice. But you know what? You should be cheering for him to clean this mess up and bring a title to this team. Because that's all it's really about. All the frustrations and everything else, and Lord knows, I have them too. All that we should be concerned about is that they go out of their way and win. That's it. Win. That's what we're here for. Win. If you don't win, have at it. Feel free. Because you know what? I'll be right there with you. Because there's so many things I could talk about with this organization. And I find it funny that you have Adam Eaton in right field because, again, 2 years ago, your white whale was out there for the signing. The left-handed right field power bat. The left-handed power bat that you craved since Jim Thome left, and he was a right fielder on top of it. Something you needed. And instead you went after Manny Machado. Wrong, you pursued the wrong guy back then. But I'm not going to go down that path anymore. That's done. So that is really all that I have for today, folks. Feel free to leave any comments, questions, complaints. I read them all. Just remember one thing. If you want to comment and say I suck or I'm an idiot or whatever, feel free. But if you reach a certain point, don't get mad when I respond back in kind to you. I don't want to, but sometimes some of you get a little carried away and I'm not going to stand for it. Sorry. So, like I said, that's all I got today. And with that, I am out. Bang.